Good afternoon. It's Lorraine here with the uh, Wellness Gathering, and we're doing a series on what taking ownership to your health and well-being through the with the principles of the core alignment. And today we're going to be doing R for respect. And my daughter Lynn Hilderman is going to lead the session. Lynn.
All right, thank you very much. So yes, we're going to be speaking about respect and how respect really plays into life. It has to do with being assertive. I think assertiveness goes along with respect, and how to be respectful and respecting and knowing that we deserve respect, but we might not always get respect. So we're gonna go around, say our name, say where you are, and tell us what type of movement do you really enjoy. So my name is Lynn, and I am in Calgary, Alberta. And a movement that I really enjoy. Well, I actually went back to a yoga class for the first time in 3 years, or however long it's been. And I must say, I really enjoy, I mean, I do yoga at home, but there's just something about going to a class that is just very satisfying. So it could be any movement. To me, it's about being in the room with other people. It's about moving my body, focusing on my breath. It's, just listening deeply to my body, and being guided. And anyways, and it was in a warm studio, so it was a little warmer than normal. So I just feel clean after I do that. So that's something I enjoy when it comes to movement. So what about you, Hattie Jane?
I haven't moved that much, but I am getting out a bit more.
Well, say your name, say where you are, and tell us a type of movement you really enjoy.
Hello, my name's Hattie Jane Derricott. I'm going to leave my beautiful flower on as my representative because my face sure doesn't look like that right now. So, and in movement, I'm having the most wonderful reality of having my body regain a sense of balance. It's been at risk and kind of limited for some time now, and I'm starting to come back. And it is a much fun, but it doesn't follow a routine pattern nor involve other people. So it's it's like my little private journey. Okay, now can you get across the floor and can you run around the place? And look, you're able to do this, but you're not able to do that. What in the world? But life is wonderful because things are returning and it is so much fun to explore.
Well, so that sense of balance then. Welcome, and I'm glad you're here. And
Thank you.
Dan Marie.
I'm Dawn Marie Times, and I'm from Sacramento, California. And the movement that has been inspiring to me here lately is Qigong. I was directed to sign up for a class online, and it has been the most enjoyable thing on Friday mornings at 9 a.m., right before I get ready to start my other exercise routine. I get to do a little movement with my body and just to get it ready for the weekend. And I so enjoy that because it allows me to check in with myself before I get going with the other things that I have lined up for my Friday or the weekend. So I would have to say getting involved with this Qigong class and the instructor is amazing.
Cool. Very cool. Nothing like a little movement to get us reset.
Yes.
Whatever it is, right?
Whatever,
doesn't have
right.
to be totally. What about you, Lorraine?
Okay. Yeah, I'm Lorraine. I'm from Osoyoos, British Columbia in the interior, Okanagan Valley. And I'm like you, Hattie Jane. I'm enjoying movement that I can walk independently without hanging on to furniture in my motorhome or my travel trailer. I'm regaining strength in my my body. And I'm very pleased with the course of action I'm taking to do that. So that has been really a positive thing for me.
Cool.
I
Very
don't.
cool.
Mhm.
So awesome. Well, I thought that that question would go with today because we are talking about respect, and it's a big subject because respect doesn't always come. Sometimes it doesn't come easily, and sometimes it's not given easily. But it plays into a conversation around being assertive and giving the information that really makes a difference, and acknowledging that people will respond more resourcefully when they're given the information that makes a difference. So when you think of assertiveness and respect, what comes up for you? Dawn Marie?
I would have to say not being pushy, but able to say what you need to say without feeling threatened. Um, to me, sometimes wanting to say what I really want to say, I end up not saying it because I'm not sure how people are going to take it, or maybe I'm not going to explain it the way that it needs to be explained. So just making sure that if I do step out and say something, that it's done with a respectful tone, and that I'm giving respect by even trying to say what I need to say. So to me, just putting it out there and being bold enough and comfortable enough to say what I need to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's having that boldness, being assertive and not being too aggressive and not being sort of passive. It's sort of this balance of knowing what it is you want to say and how to get it across.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Hattie Jane?
Oh, and I'm sorry, folks. I'm from the Falls Church, Virginia area down here in the States. Apologize, I didn't include that last time. And my aspect of respect is two-pronged. I have always opened my mouth and things have just come out without a good filter or an awareness of things frequently. So being respect, it's like, oh, well, so respect for myself to recognize that that might be a hindrance in people feeling good about what my communications are safe, and trying to be respectful to them so that I take that into account and own up to respect myself, because that's just the way I am. Yeah, I've been doing it all my life, and it's not too late to change because I'm still alive, but it sure isn't automatic.
That's one of the principles of core alignment and emotional wisdom training is awareness with acceptance. We are all, we all have our shortcomings and we all have our great things about us. But it's that sense of acceptance of knowing that I might not always be my top game, right? And I might say something, and so how can I be in that place of respecting myself, knowing that I'm always learning and doing, trying to do better. I think it's a human trait to want to be better. And when I have that awareness with acceptance, it's like, now I'm not making myself wrong for it. I'm just going, oh, I can do something different next time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm working on, at the same time, of working on my ability to apologize for landing wrong on other people's feelings, and acknowledging that they might, how they seem to feel, without, well, it was right there in my back of my mind what I was going to say, and it just went away. Sorry, people.
That's okay. Awesome. What about you, Lorraine?
In regards to respect and
And assertiveness.
assertiveness, yeah, it's something that you don't dwell on, or it's not really on the forefront of my mind. I try to be express myself as clear as possible, but sometimes I get information jumbled up, or I get off on a tangent. And also I think sometimes I'm assuming when people, what I'm saying, people aren't going to listen, or they don't really understand what I'm saying. They're not going to ask me questions. And I am assuming that what I say is not interesting to them.
Mhm.
So there's that assumption that kicks in as well. And uh, this is a good topic. When I said respect, or look at respect, I thought, well, what are we going to say? But now when you really think about it, you really have to think about it.
Mhm.
It is a very big,
Yeah.
it is a big topic. And I know looking at the difference between like assertiveness and being passive and being aggressive. And so often it's assertiveness is not between the two, it is actually above those two. So, and then seeing both of them and then noticing, how do I choose responsibly? Like, how could I be more assertive here as opposed to being passive and not knowing what to say,
Mhm.
or being too aggressive because I have too much to say.
Mhm.
So this is where assertiveness is, I think, goes along with respect, because it really, how can I be respecting? How can I be respectful? And how can I know that I want to be respected, and I would like to give respect, and others deserve respect. So, it's a very big subject.
Mhm.
So what way do you see respect playing out in your lives right now? How does it play out, like, in a real life situation, say? Dawn Marie?
Mm. Well, excuse me. I would have to say, wow. I have a friend who um, I love her dearly, and how can I say this gently? I love her dearly, and sometimes she goes overboard with trying to um, um, say thank you to me, or to um, compensate me for something that I've done. And I'm just really doing it out of the kindness of my heart when I do something for her. But I feel like she feels that she has to go overboard to say thank you for the things that I do. And I know that I need to respect the way that she shows her gratitude, and not, get into my head about, well, why is she doing so much of it? And just accepting it for that's who she is, and that's the way that she wants to say thank you. So I'm really wrestling with that, and I'm learning, and just hearing what we're discussing today, that I don't really need to have a formulated idea or a thought about why she does what she does. I just need to accept what she does and be okay with it.
Got it. Got it. And so that, yeah, that's those situations can play out very subtly, right? And so, how would being assertive affect that? How would the position, stepping into the position of assertiveness, that position that supports and benefits and respects all people involved? But it sounds like that's how you're seeing it. It's like you're respecting where she's coming from but you're noticing that, something doesn't need to be here that's here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What about you, Hattie Jane?
There's so many different directions I could go in. Woo. And currently have the situation in which I have two strangers who are very much involved in my daily life, or which they help me get through the daily life and do things.
Mhm.
And I become aware of how controlling I am in some ways, and I want it done my way on most things, and then how to be respectful of them and in their attempts at the same time, how to be assertive in what, I can see you do it, but you really want to do it this way. And be able to communicate that in a way in which it is as an adult to an adult,
Yes.
because that's not
Exactly.
um, that is different.
Yeah, and then that's giving the information that makes a difference in a respectful way.
And how you give it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. What about you, Lorraine?
How the respect is, I think, in my daily life, I think it's just strengthening a relationship. Um, and it's a funny thing happened, and I didn't, I kind of didn't really see it at the time, but now after reading and discussing this, we have a neighbor that is going to be going away, and she has a lot of nice plants around her place. And she asked me when we first moved to this site in this campground if Randall, my husband, would water her plants while they're away for a week. And I sat with that information. I didn't share it with Randall. I did the assumption part that he would just get annoyed with that request. So I just kept it quiet to myself. So the other day, she mentioned to Randall, she says, "Oh, you don't have to worry about watering my plants. I've got somebody else to water it." And of course, he didn't know what the hell she's talking about because I didn't tell him that she had asked me, mentioned it to me. So he was a little ticked off, and I was just assumed that rather than say anything, I would just let it be, and maybe it'll work itself out. So it kind of backfired on me. So I really wasn't respecting how he would have taken it, and did the assumption part, and so it now, and just talking about it, and being aware of what my decision was at the time. It's it screwed up.
Yeah, those things happen so easily, right? We make
Yeah,
in the moment, we make a judgment about something that, right?
yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
So I laughed about the whole scenario because, but it really wasn't fun because he did really get ticked off with me for not even mentioning that she had mentioned it to me that she was going to ask him to water her plants because it made me look stupid. He said, I didn't know what she was talking about. It made me look stupid. So,
Oh.
but
being respectful, right? Respecting and deserving.
so that's how it played. That little thing played out in my awareness, and now I got to be more sharper and be open and honest and communicative.
Yes, that assumption will get you every time.
That's right. It's, what is it? What's assumption? Make an
Yeah.
ass out of you and me, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, when I think of assertiveness and respect, and I mean, it's been a journey for me dealing with both, running a business for many, many years with many, many different practitioners, and doing my best to give the information that makes a difference. Recognizing I've got my shortcomings similar to Hattie Jane, that getting the information out wasn't always easy for me, and working through really diving into what assertiveness is and what respect is, both receiving it and giving it, and recognizing that I might not get the respect that I feel I deserve.
Mhm.
And that I can give it. Like I had, like at the yoga class today, I went into the yoga class, there's showers, there's only 3 stalls, and albeit it's, I stayed in the room for quite a bit longer, and I like to just get in and rinse out, but rinse off. And this is my respectful way, is like I get in and I get out really fast because I know there's other people,
Lady.
but other people aren't like that. And so I stood there for, it had already gone through, 2 rounds of people. And, and some of them like to be in the shower a lot longer. And so this is, it's kind of interesting, I go, wow, what is it about me that wants to give respect so easily? And what is it about me that doesn't necessarily get the respect? And could I be that one on the other side, that just wants to take, if you want to call it that, like just be oblivious to what's going on around me.
Mhm.
So I think being assertive and sometimes speaking up in a respectful way, helps. So that's why I think assertiveness and respect go together. And because there's been times in my life where I've been way more passive, and then I'll lash out and be aggressive
Mhm.
because I'm not able to either say what I need to say, or it's like I can't find the words to give the best information. I think it goes with like even in NECAN, giving the information for people, I assume I'll make a judgment before I even get a chance to give the information. So I think respect and assertiveness go hand in hand.
Mhm.
So
I agree.
so it is a big subject, and there's a whole 10 weeks we could spend on assertiveness and respect. So
Mm.
that's a whole other thing, but this is a little dabble of how respect plays out in our lives in a subtle way. So what will you take with you from our conversation today that will support you until we talk again? Hattie Jane?
To continue appreciating, recognizing humbleness as a wonderful adjunct to assertiveness.
Mhm.
And how much more fun I'm having exploring this aspect of life now compared to giving into passive aggressive ways of dealing with things, or suddenly flaring up because I feel so abused one way or the other, not physically, but one way or the other. And recognizing that that's not what I want to do. I don't want to flare. I want to deal with it consistently and comfortably. So it's a really great, fun time of life.
Mhm.
Cool. Thank you. Dawn Marie?
What I will take away from today that will carry me until the next time we meet is that it's okay to be assertive. You just have to be respectful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
awesome. Lorraine?
Yeah, what I'll take away until we talk and meet again. Yeah, to be aware of that, to be, assertive. But I think it's also mentally prepared with subjects at hand.
Mm.
And because if you're not prepared, you never know what to say about them. So, if you're going to be assertive, and if you're in a conversation it's really pulling up your experience about what do you know about the subject, and be respectful when you say it. So there's all that mental preparedness as well, I think, comes into play.
Mhm.
Yeah, that preparation, it goes a long way.
When you were talking, Lynn, when you're running, what your experience was running a business and knowing what to say, that's what sort of triggered. I think, it's the being prepared with the facts or the situation or the information. And I mean, it's not always easy to have that
And
right at your
sometimes
fingertip.
that's right. And sometimes it's learning as we go, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, well, sometimes, like, I know I was taught when I was in nursing that if you didn't know something particular, you say, well, I don't know right now, but let me get back to you. I'll find out more information. I'll get back to you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then you can call, then you can go and do your research and get back to the thing. I mean, it buys time, but it's
Got
also
it.
a good way of saying,
And that's an
admitting that you
assertive-
don't know.
Yeah, totally. Well, what I will take with me that'll support me until we talk again is, well, I'm reminded about the practice of assertiveness. And when I'm clear and concise and respectful and deserving of respect, and when I know what I want and I'm able to ask for it and show up and keep my word and have that natural attitude of gratitude along the way, which is the 5 steps to success that go along with some of the principles of core alignment. But that's how miracles happen. Miracles happen when I'm able to do that, when I'm able to be clear and have the, if I don't have the information, letting somebody know, I'll think about it, let me get back to you, or I'll find out how to get that information for you. So that's what I'll take. So what will you take with you that'll support you for the rest of your life? Dawn Marie?
What I will take away that will support me for the rest of my life is to, be okay with how I say and what I say, and not be so judgmental about the fact that I'm not saying it the way that I think other people need to be. Other people want to hear it. Say it the way that it's comfortable for me. And hopefully, if there is any glitches in the way that I communicate it, that someone will say, hey, you know what, could you rephrase that or repeat that, or I'm not clear about that. And I think that will help me to become more in tune with what I need to say and how I need to say it. So I'm really going to work on that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hattie Jane?
I love what Dawn Marie said. I think that's so true. And at the same time, recognize that I want to.
Mm-hmm.
I've long time put up a big shield and a self-isolation, perhaps. Take it or leave it, folks, and I'm looking forward to being much more of a part of the family as opposed to being the isolate.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Awesome. Lorraine?
What I will take with me and to support me for the rest of my life. Yeah, I think it's certainly bringing awareness to the respect and being assertive. And it's so interesting to listen to everybody's response. And Dawn Marie, I like the way you say, saying that if somebody would say to you, well, would you please clarify that so I make it understand? And it goes the other way around, and somebody else is talking to say the same thing to them. So there's, it's just being able to feel comfortable in a conversation without any judgment or
Yes.
assumptions, and just be calm about things. And it's not my way or the highway type of attitude.
That's the passive aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what I will take with me that'll support me for the rest of my life. Well, what I take is there's so many principles from so much good work that has been part of my learning. And I really just take away the support that's out there from teachers of the past, either living or not living. And that support, just that there's some of these principles and some of these conversations have such grace in them that there's just support of sharing information that makes a difference for people. like what you were saying, Dawn Marie, you know, asking for clarity, you know, clarify that. Or if I'm not understanding, you know, can you summarize that?
Mhm,
Or maybe I didn't hear it. Can you say it again?
mhm,
Or speak louder? You know, there's just like four very simple things
mhm.
that can be given in any conversation. And I think that's, you know, it comes down to that mastering communication
Mhm.
and listening and hearing what other people say and showing up and having fun. I
Right.
think there's nothing more fun than stuff like this for me. So I'm grateful.
Awesome.
and fulfilled. Awesome. All right. Well,
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you, Lynn. You've done a good job again, and I certainly,
Mhm.
I think we all appreciate the conversation. And
Yes.
it's, as you say, it could go on and on and on, but because you really start bringing up a lot of things. So next week, we're going to be doing S for satisfaction. So anyway, we'll see you next week, and thank you for coming.